Hi, I'm Ivan.
Hi, I'm Joanne.
And together we are from
Quadrant.
Okay, so first of all, right, who are you, Joanne?
I'm Joanne. I'm the head of research of Quadrant. Basically, I study the Singapore property market and also overseas.
And today, what we are going to be talking about is the URA, like residential property statistics, right? That's released on a quarterly basis.
Yes.
And one thing that we want to pinpoint is
The rental market.
okay, so what's up about the rental market is that when we look at the rental index, right, it's going up from like 109.3 all the way to 111.3. So there's an increase of 1.8%, and it has been consistently going up in the past few months.
Yes.
So what's your take about this, Joanne?
So I think a rental market is actually impacted by a lot of factors. But before we go into factor, I just want to express my feeling. I'm really amazed by the rental market at this moment. It is so high until it's unbelievable. Yes, this is really shocking.
Yeah, it's like I hear you're expressing, right? So what actually happened? Maybe you can share with us like what happened to you.
Okay, so recently I'm actually looking at rental market for my personal purpose. So I actually I'm just looking at condo private property markets. Then I realized that there's lack of supply. I cannot even find a suitable project. It's either too small but expensive, but large and even more expensive. So I turned my direction to HDB and I realized that HDB price is almost similar to condo market.
That's a very interesting insight, right? Yeah. I want you to give us a even more depth into this. Like where are you actually looking at? Like what's the price like for like 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom that you're looking at? Yeah, and like the comparisons.
Yes, so actually I'm looking at central area for a 3-bedroom. And I'm super shocked that I can't even find a good one because the supply is so limited. So a normal 3-bedroom, I can find a 3-bedroom only like 700 square feet or 800 square feet for a 3-bedroom. Is I'm super shocked. And the pricing asks for 4,000 plus. And there's
That's
a
for
bigger
condo.
Yes, for a bigger one, I'm so shocked that there's one project asking for 5,500 for a 3-bedroom. I was super shocked. So I was like, oh, I cannot afford this. Then I look at HDB. HDB for a 3-bedroom is slightly bigger, but HDB actually asking from 3,500. I'm like 3,500 I can get a 2-bedroom in some older condos. And I'm so shocked. Oh my god, the difference is so close, like not big. Then I realized, wow, the rental market really increased a lot because I know that in past year, before COVID period, for a 3-bedroom, actually the asking is around like below 4,000. And now, if you ask like just 4,000, I don't think you can get a good one, or you just get a very small 3-bedroom.
So from the grounds up, from even your own feel, right? It's like getting hotter and hotter. The pricing is getting higher and higher. So in this aspect, right? What do you think caused all this to happen?
Really because of the pandemic, that everyone that really cannot go back and you really stay in Singapore, and also working from home. People ask for like a bigger space and everything. All these things, I think this is one of the factors that drive out the HDB market, because HDB, like as everyone knows, is slightly bigger than condo and it's more affordable. But HDB price now, like the rental is similar to a condo rental. So this is really shock for me. And not only central, I do look at like Sengkang, Bukit Panjang, Clementi. I just want to do some research. Even Tampines, for a 3-bedroom, easily you can get a 3,500. I used to stay in a HDB in the rental one. For a 4-bedroom HDB got a 3-bedroom, right? My rental is around like 3.4, 2.4, 2.5, this range. But now I will never get it. If you can get a further away from MRT, you get like a 2.8, 3. But if I get nearer MRT, like I think 3.2, 3,500.
Yeah, so I think the overall theme is that the rental rates are rising, and my take is this, like what you share about people are working more from home, and with this like working from home and like being at home more, right? People would just want more space.
Yes.
So because of this whole pandemic, right, I feel that the paradigm has changed. That people just want a bigger place to live in. So in the theme is that the demand for space has gone up, not just in Singapore, like worldwide. You can look at the worldwide like property prices, like worldwide has gone up. So what's happening is that demand has grown because of pandemic, like mindsets and viewpoints have changed, right? But the thing is, supply cannot catch up immediately. Yeah, because if you're talking about real estate, right, it actually takes time to build a property. So because of this, right, supply it's like constant, but demand goes
Increase,
up. So prices have go up, whether in the renter or the price of the property itself?
Actually, on this, I actually have another second thought. Like everyone keep thinking about construction costs actually impact property price and everything. Yeah, it does impact property price, but property price actually impact rental indirectly, because when people buy expensive, right, buy high, they will definitely want a higher rental. And if this mindset seep into everyone, because the property price is just up here, then everyone just think that, okay, I pay this price to buy this property, I need to rent out at this to get a yield reasonable. Then when everyone thinks in this way, they act on it, and this drive up. Can you imagine, like the owner, they want this price, and plus the demand is so strong and limited supply, and the people like want to rent, they will just take it. And with this, right, it just form the scenario that rental is getting higher and higher, and the owner has the authority and power, because they know that no supply and high demand, so they can just ask whatever price that they want, and the buyer, like the renter, like no choice, they just take it.
Yeah, so on the second point, right, I also feel that there's actually pent-up demand, right, from buyers in Singapore. So if you look at this article, right, that's going to come up, right, is that you can see that Singapore is like one of the bigger investors, right, into overseas property market. And why are people investing overseas, right, rather than in Singapore? And I think it's definitely because of the ABSD that Singaporeans have to pay on the second property itself. So when Singaporeans are not able to buy a second property in Singapore, right, they may turn to overseas.
Yes.
So think about it. If you look at the whole Singapore market situation, right, and they loosen this like regulation whereby Singaporeans are able to buy a second property, right, do you think that the property prices or the demand will go even higher or lower?
To go higher.
Yeah, because I think
Finally.
we just want to buy in our own backyard.
Yes.
Yeah. So with this, right, actually I'm going out of point now. Let's come back. Let's talk about the rental market situation. You can see that the rental index is going up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think will this impact property prices?
This will definitely impact the property prices to go even higher. But the next thing that we want to like really emphasize, like to talk about, is also the VTL is going to open from between Singapore and Malaysia, going to open soon. So this will actually have a debate. Like, do you think that people will, like foreigners, the expat, will actually leave Singapore and go back to home country, or actually more people is coming in?
That's a very, very interesting point of view. So guys, please type into the channel, right, and share with us your viewpoint, right. Do you think that having this VTL lane, right, will it boost the demand for like properties in Singapore, or will it reduce the demand?
Yeah. What do you think?
What do I think? That is very good. I throw you an arrow, you throw me back.
Okay. Actually, I have a thought already. I know what's just my thought, like with this.
So you're trying to set a trap for me, lah?
Yes. No.
Okay, come on. Let me think. What are my thoughts? If you talk about the whole Malaysia situation, right, I feel that whether it's Malaysia or other countries, right, the number one thing is that with this whole opening of VTL, right, it opens up channels for short-term working in Singapore. So what do I mean by this? You see, we can have our foreign friends, right, or talents, right, to come into Singapore to work on a short-term basis, right, and this is only possible when there's VTL. Because if there's no like VTL, right, vaccinated travel lanes, right, imagine that you want to come into Singapore, you'll be quarantined for 2 weeks, and when you go back to your home country, you'll be quarantined for another 2 weeks, right? That's a total of a 1 month period. So if you are just flying in for 3 months to work, right, it doesn't make sense whereby 1 month quarantine, work 2 months. The ratio doesn't make sense. But when we have this VTL lanes, right, it then become possible to come into Singapore to work on a 3-month assignment. And because of this, right, I will see that the demand for housing will go up. What do you think?
Yeah, so I actually have two different thoughts on this. Like those people that actually always travel in and out, they will continue like this. But I'm not sure. Like, this is only when everything goes back.
Restart after the.
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes back to normal, this will restart. But the other point of view is when there's VTL, and I see people will start coming in long-term basis as well. Because I see like during this pandemic period, and Singapore government has been everyone is under control, and the regulation is so good. Everyone like just follow the rules, and we work hard together to bring down the COVID case. So I see like maybe other people like foreigner expect they will see Singapore is really a good country, and the economy is doing good, like recovering, and everything is in control, stabilized. This will actually attract people to come in. So in long-term basis, it makes people see Singapore is actually a very good country to settle down on a long-term basis. Then will come in. Then this will actually kind of like increase the demand for rental again, then I see the rental will probably going up again and property price as well.
Yeah, so my take is that when rental rate goes up, right, or rental goes up, it makes it even easier for people to buy the property itself, because the rental income can then help to support the monthly installments even more. So, and then hence, right, people will be willing to pay an even higher price.
Yeah.
So I
This
think
will drive up the market again, and then the seller will say, I want a higher price. Then this is really a loop that us getting the property price higher and higher.
yeah, so that's it, man. Property price, I think will have a very good or decent chance of going even higher.
Yeah,
and
because
higher.
of the rental and the demand.
So once again, I hope you're learning something from this video about the impact of like rising rental rates, right?
Yes.
And yes, make sure you give us a like and also subscribe to our channel, guys. So once again, I'm Joanne.
Oh, yeah, Ivan.
I'm Ivan.
I'm Joanne.
And we are
from Quadrant.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
Hi, I'm Joanne.
And together we are Quadrant.
Isn't it we are
Yay.
from Quadrant?
Oh yeah. Together we are from
Quadrant.
So Joanne, I noticed that you're doing all these hand gestures like me. That's like very nice.
Yes, learn from you. Success business model.
I think there's something to model and some things like funny models. You don't need to do that.
Okay.